breath. And just take a second to connect with the breath. Going inward. And wherever it is that you find yourself, just come into deeper relaxation, deeper gratitude. And in this space and with our intention, let's just once again ask permission so you can begin to feel what that answer feels like. Ask permission to learn about this plant, what energy medicine it brings for emotional and spiritual wellness. And just begin to get a sense if that permission is granted. Now feel in your body if there's any hesitation or if there's a pull forward, if there's any sounds that give you clues, any visuals that come to mind. And let's just kind of ground ourselves into the world of nature and into higher realms of consciousness. And the way I like to do this is I like to imagine that wherever my body meets the surface I'm sitting on, I like to imagine that with every inhale I can begin to grow roots downward. And with each inhale, that root can either spread wide and grow deep so that my connection to Mother Earth grows deeper and deeper. And I like to imagine that those roots can grow all the way down, piercing through the floor beneath me, the foundation of the building beneath me, piercing through the soil, traveling past all of the insect dwellers, all of the aquifers deep in the earth. And I like to imagine that my root can grow all the way down into the core of the earth so that I can be deeply connected with Mother Earth. And as I approach the core of the earth, I like to observe how that core is presenting itself to me. And I like to somehow relate it to the 5 elements. Maybe it looks like a crystal or a gemstone or lava rock relating to the earth. Maybe it's just soil. Maybe it's an open body of water. Maybe the water's swirling, or maybe it's still. Maybe it's deep and dark, or beautiful and blue. Maybe it's a big ball of fire, swirling and roaring. Maybe it's just an open space of air. Or maybe it's filled with some deep spiritual mystery. And just take notice of what you notice the core of the earth is showing up for you today. How is it showing up? And as you begin to notice that, imagine that with your next inhale, you can plug into or wrap around that core, whatever makes sense for you, so that you're engaging with the core of Mother Earth. And as you engage, your roots become enlivened with that Mother Earth energy. And with the next inhale, you can begin drawing up that earth energy into your roots. And you can see that energy travel all the way up through the roots, past the aquifers, past the fossils, past the insects, drawing that Mother Earth energy all the way up through the foundation of the building you're in, through the floor, and into your body. Begin feeling your body become enlivened with Mother Earth energy, allowing it to rise from your feet, through your shins and knees, your thighs and pelvis, igniting your spine and rising through your belly, through your chest, rising one vertebrae at a time, spilling into your arms, all the way down to your fingertips, rising through your neck, your chin, your cheeks, your head, all the way up to your crown. And so now you're fully alive with Mother Earth energy. Grateful for this partnership. And imagine that that energy can extend beyond your physical being, perhaps sending a column of light through your crown up to the space above you, up into the dream world, traveling through the room you're in, through the ceiling, out the roof of the building you're in, sending that Mother Earth energy northward, up through the blue sky, through the clouds, into space and beyond, opening up into divinity where consciousness exists. And this beautiful sparkly light can be poured down, the connection of the all-knowing part of yourself, the soul of yourself that can connect with the all that is, allowing that energy to be poured down like a funnel into that column of light you sent up, pouring it down through space, through the clouds, through the blue sky, through the roof of your building, into the space above you, finally down into your crown, where it can swirl with that Mother Earth energy, swirling through your head, moving down into your chin, down your neck, rolling down your shoulders all the way into your fingertips, filling up your chest, igniting one vertebrae at a time, all the way down through your belly and your pelvis, each of your legs, all the way down to your feet and into your roots, all the way down to Mother Earth. These two beautiful energies, the earthbound energy and the heavenly energy, the divine energy, swirling within you, having you perfectly situated between heaven and earth. And this is a meditation I like to do before connecting with a plant to get me to this relaxed state, to the dream world. And just breathe here, focusing on your heart. And imagine that somewhere in your surroundings, you find this beautiful plant. And imagine that you can somehow approach this plant. Maybe you've brought a gift. And as you approach this plant and begin to introduce yourself, you can offer that gift as a sign of thanks for the plant meeting you here in this dream world. And as you give that gift, just observe the plant and how it reacts and responds to you. How it even reacts and responds to your presence. Is it neutral? Is it excited? Is it hesitant? Beginning to notice the personality of the plant. And also, your response to the plant's response can sometimes be important. And as you sit in this space with the plant, you can ask permission. I'd love to learn more about the medicine that you bring to the world, what energy you bring to the world. Would it be all right if I sit with you and learn from you? And again, noticing the response. And from here, we begin to observe. We can initiate in some way, but then once we initiate, it's about observing where it goes. So we initiate with our imagination and then observe with our intuition where things move. Perhaps we imagine that we can connect our roots. Perhaps we imagine that we can share breath with this plant. Our exhale becomes its inhale. Its exhale becomes our inhale. Perhaps we're led to walk with the plant down a woodland path or some other path, the seashore, open plains, a garden path. Begin noticing, how is it guiding you? And so in this space, as you observe this journey with the plant, begin to notice what sounds are about you. And the sounds can be observed in the dream state, or perhaps they're in your immediate surroundings now. Perhaps the plant is speaking words to you. Become an intent listener. Continue to ask the question, what medicine do you bring? And see if you hear an answer. Maybe the voice sounds familiar. Maybe a song comes into your mind and you can hear that song. Begin to notice any smells that arise that weren't here before, or that were here before. Maybe the plant has a smell. Notice if it's pleasant or not. Notice if it reminds you of something or someone, a memory. Notice as you're engaging with this plant, if you can notice deeper about its texture, the feel of the plant. But also notice how you feel in the presence of this plant. Relaxed, excited, eager, timid, nervous, apprehensive. What emotions does this plant arise in you? And notice in your body if you feel any sensations as you spend time with this plant. Maybe a tingle here or there, or a flutter, or a pain, or a beautiful expansive feeling in a certain part of your body. Can you relate the sensation to a body part, or a bodily system, or a chakra, or an organ system? Do you feel your body swaying in any way, a pulling or a pushing? Do you feel grounded or uplifted? See if this plant can offer you a taste in some way. Perhaps you're handed a cup of tea or offered a small taste. Notice the taste in this dream state. Or notice what you begin to know without the taste. Perhaps there's a knowing of bitterness, of sourness, of sweetness or pungency, of saltiness, of astringency, or moisture, dryness. Notice how the taste makes you feel emotionally and physically. Perhaps it's relaxing and expansive. perhaps it's unpleasant and sickly. See if the taste settles in your body somewhere specific. And it's okay to not have answers to all of these prompts. They're just offerings. You may be having a fully visual experience. So notice the visual experience. And this is your third eye noticing through imagination in the dream world. Be open to any visuals that arise and notice that plant spirits work in very subtle ways. Again, just turning to the plant in this dream state, observing its morphology, the color, the size, the shape. Is it tall or close to the ground? Does it sprawl or take up little space? Is it coming to you in a grouping, or is it more singular in nature? Notice the growing conditions it's allowing you to visualize in this dream state. Is it lush and green or quite barren? What time of year is it? Notice if the plant has a personality. Is it shy or is it loud? Is it very busy or is it quiet? Is it subtle or is it in your face? And it's in all these observations that we begin to put the pieces together. What story does the plant tell? Begin to understand what it is that you've observed. Almost as a metaphor for the plant's energetic healing virtues. What emotional healing does this plant bring? Remember, it's always going to be a positive. You may be shown patterns of imbalance that this plant might be indicated for, and that's equally important. But it's good to ask the question of how it is that this plant is alleviating this imbalance. When you feel ready, thank this beautiful plant for all that it has shared with you today. Find a way to say your goodbyes. And when you feel ready, bring yourself back to the room with a few deep breaths, noticing the light behind your eyes. And very gently and slowly fluttering your eyes open, adjusting to the light, coming back to the room, and taking a moment to write down all that you've experienced with this plant. I'm Pietro. I'm a community herbalist. I'm an intuitive energy worker, and I'm also an educator in both fields of study. I work out of my home office here in Connecticut as you begin to explore herbalism. If you're new to the path, having this type of foundational approach to me helps to kind of awaken the intuitive senses of connecting with the plant. The plants, we can think of them as our ancestors, our wise ones who we're here before us, observing and interacting with Mother Earth and their surroundings, and beginning to understand how to cope and survive in the conditions of Earth. So we can look to them for that wisdom, and we can work with them to help our own levels of adjustment to being human, to being on this earth, which can sometimes feel difficult. As humans, we have what's been referred to in psychology, the collective unconscious. And you can think about, and this is, where all of human thoughts, behaviors, belief systems, patterns, archetypes exist in this unseen realm. And we can think about the plants as having their own unseen realm, which coexists with our unseen realm. And so we can think about plants as having a consciousness. Each individual plant kind of makes up this collective consciousness of the plant kingdom. And so you can sit with the spirit of the plant, whether it's the individual plant or whether it's the plant, the entire species, and you can understand what energy they bring, right? So you can connect in this unseen realm. You can sit with any plant in this way and connect with the consciousness of that plant to gain deeper awareness of what that plant is here to bring. And so when you begin to kind of open yourself up to, this is what I call the light of nature. This is what most herbalists call the light of nature. You kind of allow yourself the ability to perceive that light. But when you connect with plant consciousness, you're beginning to understand the energetic medicine of the plant. And so the practice of working with plants in this way is really an ancient practice. And so when we work with the plant's vibration, in this way, our own vibration begins to shift and attune to the vibration of the plant. Herbalists will call it dreaming with the plant, right? You're now merging with that consciousness of the plant. And these observations are helping you to bring forward the metaphor of the plant. I like to think that the plants growing in our backyard are showing up for us, there for us, just as we are there for them. And we might not fully understand the capacity in which we're supporting each other, but we exist in the same environment.